Welcome to EarthTab Business School. My name is Almaz Tesfaye, and I will be your course preceptor for the course Budget Presentation and Approval Processes. Course Overview. In today's dynamic financial environment, the ability to design, present, defend, and secure approval for budgets is a critical skill that spans across all industries, sectors, and levels of leadership. Whether you're a department head in a public organization, a project manager in a multinational corporation, a nonprofit executive, or a startup founder pitching to investors, mastering the art and science of budget presentation and approval is essential to ensuring financial sustainability, strategic alignment, and operational efficiency. This course is a comprehensive, advanced, and practice-oriented program that immerses you in the full life cycle of the budget approval process from conceptualization to formal endorsement. It builds foundational knowledge in budgeting principles, then moves into sophisticated techniques for communicating financial plans persuasively and responding to scrutiny from decision-making bodies.
Key objectives of the course: develop technical competence, gain deep understanding of budget formulation, forecasting, cost justification, funding allocation, and financial control frameworks. Master presentation techniques. Learn how to articulate complex financial data to both technical and non-technical stakeholders using clear language, visuals, and strategic messaging. Navigate approval dynamics. Understand the political, strategic, and interpersonal dynamics that influence budget approvals in both public and private sector settings. Manage stakeholder expectations, learn negotiation techniques, objection handling, and how to align competing priorities across functional teams or governance boards. Apply legal and ethical considerations, explore regulatory compliance, ethical boundaries, and transparency protocols involved in budget advocacy and approval. What you will learn. This course is divided into several in-depth modules covering a wide range of topics, including but not limited to budgeting fundamentals and frameworks, understanding types of budgets, operating, capital, zero-based, rolling, budget structures, and financial planning cycles. Strategic budget alignment, how to align budget proposals with institutional goals, KPIs, project mandates, strategic plans, and funding criteria. Budget narrative and justification. Writing. Crafting compelling narratives that translate numbers into value stories, focusing on impact, efficiency, and ROI. Designing budget presentation materials, creating dashboards, charts, visual reports, and financial models using Excel, PowerPoint, and budgeting software. Stakeholder mapping and approval channels, identifying internal and external approvers, influencers, gatekeepers, and understanding their decision triggers. Public versus private sector budgeting, navigating formalities, politics, legislative scrutiny, internal reviews, and boardroom dynamics. The budget defense process, anticipating objections, managing difficult questions, and performing live justifications in meetings or hearings. Case studies and simulations. Role-playing budget defense before a board or government agency, using real-world scenarios to test strategies. Post-approval responsibilities, managing revisions, tracking disbursement, adjusting forecasts, and reporting on budget utilization and performance.
Target audience: MBA students, finance and accounting professionals, investment analysts and portfolio managers, business executives and corporate planners, entrepreneurs and startup founders, government and NGO project managers, development finance specialists. Skills you will gain: financial forecasting and budget modeling, budget communication and visualization, narrative and data interpretation, stakeholder persuasion and negotiation, risk, mitigation and contingency planning policy, and regulatory interpretation, conflict management in approval processes, public speaking in financial contexts, post-approval, budget monitoring, ethical decision-making in financial reporting, tools and frameworks covered. Microsoft Excel for budget sheets and forecasting, Microsoft PowerPoint for financial presentations, Tableau, Power BI for budget dashboards, SWOT Pestle, analysis for strategic budgeting, cost benefit and ROI analysis, logic models and results frameworks, public sector budget cycle models, MTEF PPBS, ZBB, budget approval process, MAPS, public hearings, board reviews, risk heat maps and scenario plans, Gantt charts and budget timelines learning format. The course uses a blended learning approach with lectures, pre-recorded and live, downloadable templates and budget tools, real-life case studies from both private and public sectors, budget presentations, simulation labs, peer and instructor feedback sessions, graded assessments, and certification test certification and outcome. Upon successful completion of this course, you will receive a certificate of competence in budget presentation and approval. Graduates will leave the program with a professionally curated budget presentation portfolio and the confidence to defend budget proposals before even the most demanding approvers or committees. Why this course matters. In an age of financial scrutiny, economic instability, and fierce competition for limited resources, the ability to strategically present and defend a budget has become an indispensable leadership asset. Budgets are more than numbers. They are stories of impact, investment, and intentional choices. Whether you work in a corporate boardroom, a donor-funded NGO, or a municipal finance department, this course equips you to influence decision-makers and translate numbers into approvals. I look forward to engaging with you throughout this learning journey, answering your questions. See you in the modules.